Let's go. Why don't you just bring it to the table?
And now, presenting author, organizer, activist, and host, the woman who brings unity to our community, Angela C. Harden.
Blessings. We say blessings to you, and I welcome you to Bring It to the Table, Real Talk with Angela C. Harden. Well, listen, you guys, I've been praying and thinking about this topic for the last couple of weeks. We've had gun violence in the workplace, in our schools, in our homes, just gun violence, period. And it has also affected my family. Wow. So as we talk about gun violence today, I want us to be transparent, like I will be, and let's just bring some awareness. Yes. Let's look at some facts, and let's talk about this killer that once is in the hands of the wrong person, how it does devastation. I want you to fasten your seatbelts tight, because it's getting ready to go up and it's getting ready to go down right here on Bring It to the Table, Real Talk with Angela C. Harden.
You just made a great choice. What are you gonna do now?
I don't know.
What? You gotta post this. Wait up. Facebook, Right Buy is the only place to buy a car from. Ain't that right?
Yeah.
Right Buy Automotive Sales is taking over your city. We're doing car deals on wheels for real. Home of the guaranteed credit approval. Come on out where we treat you like family. It's all true at the Yellow and Blue.
Blessings! Hey, how you doing? How are you?
Welcome to Mr. K's Daughters and Sons Variety Shop, where we have discount prices for the entire family. You talking about dresses and men's shirts and children fashion at a good price. And if we don't have what you want, we will get it for you. And you can shop with us by appointment on Mondays or Wednesday through Saturday. We'll be glad to have you.
Blessings, and welcome back to Bring It to the Table, Real Talk with Angela C. Harden. You know, you guys, as we were going to the break, we were discussing how gun violence have played a very devastating role in our schools, in our communities, on our jobs, in our homes, within even ourselves. What do you view as the causes of gun violence in our community?
You know, one thing, when you really look at it, no matter how you slice it or dice it, guns don't fire themselves. So the problem isn't the guns, it's the hands that the guns are in.
Absolutely.
And I believe that as well.
As you say that, Jamie, I just want to give a demonstration. We can put the gun there.
Wow.
You can put the ammunition there. And I guarantee you that that gun is not going to shoot itself, nor load itself. And so we need to look at the rhetoric that we're using. The media propagates gun control. Well, that gun doesn't need control. As long as it stays there or it's locked up where it needs to be, it's what we need to really look at. We need to look at who we put guns in the hands of, the vetting process of what does it take in order to get a gun. Maybe raise the age of how old that you need to be to get a gun. Make the vetting process a little bit tougher so that we're looking at history a little more than what we are looking at. But the gun, I know it's sensitive, but that gun is not going to shoot itself.
I hear you.
Yes.
I do hear you. But when you look at facts and statistics, we know that over 13,000 people in the United States each year are killed by a firearm, by a gun. And not only that, you got more Americans are likely to be killed or to die from gun violence than any other death, from drowning, stabbing, choking on food, even airplane crashes. You got more people that will die from the hands of a gun. And then when I think about it, I hear exactly what you're saying. There's nothing wrong with that gun. And it's not. It really isn't. But, and I've said this before to you guys, because I've been personally affected by guns, I just view it a little different than a lot of people. Because my father was shot and killed by a family member of ours. That's someone that, that I grew up was like a brother to me. Actually, he was my stepbrother. Not only that, I was 15 years old. And he always said, though, I'm going to kill him. He said that.
Wow.
That grew up in our home. He would say that because my dad had some issues. Being 15 years old and experiencing the death and the murder of my father has been very traumatic for me as a daughter, but also seeing my nephew being shot and killed, my first cousin being shot and killed, and many other family members and friends that I know of that have been shot and killed, have caused us to want to talk about and bring some awareness to what we call gun violence. And even when I think about my dad he had a problem, he had an issue with anger. And there are many people that have problems with anger. And when you do and don't know how to release that in a positive way, you need to get help. And so there is nothing wrong with a gun. It really isn't. But if that gun is in the hand of an angry, unstable person, it could cause devastation.
You said something there. You said that anger. Again, that gun is just laying. It doesn't care what we say. It's unemotional. But when we get into the hands that it goes into, and the problem is good and it's bad, but people that have the greatest concern concerning guns and moments like this after the fact are the ones that are victims, like yourself.
Absolutely.
There needs to be a solution to this that doesn't surround emotions, because emotions will pass. People dismiss emotions. You have some facts and people will listen to them, but there has to be more to it than just the emotions and the facts. We got a bigger problem here.
But what that brings to mind is that if we look at statistics, we recognize in the statistics that 2017, more deaths by guns were by suicide than anything else. And so when you look at what you experience in your family, we look at talking about mental illness. And so when we talk about mental illness or signs, and so you indicated that it had been said, but oftentimes we ignore the signs that are there because we think people are just kidding. And so when we do that again, Jamie, it's not, that gun hasn't loaded itself yet.
And all of this is good, but we got to bring it to a close.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Ernestine Howard, a licensed life and health insurance agent here in the states of Georgia and South Carolina. Do you or a family member need life insurance? Are your children or grands covered? Do you have chronic health issues and think you're uninsurable? Trust me, I have a plan just for you. Don't leave the burden of your final expenses to your family. Be proactive. Call me today. Ernestine Howard.
Deshaun Seafood, Chicken, and all you can eat crab legs. Great food, good service, lots of fun. Try us for the first time and you'll be ringing our bell.
This is my first time coming here, but it sure won't be my last.
I just love the crab legs.
Hey Augusta, Malcolm here. You know I'm always telling you how easy it is, how great my prices are, but don't just take my word for it. Listen to what my customers have to say.
Malcolm Huttingham Chevrolet beat all the prices here in the local CSRA area.
We will purchase again. Why? Because they just got it like that.
Plus, new 2017 Silverados are $13,000 off.
Malcolm Cunningham Chevrolet made it easy. Absolutely.
Malcolm Cunningham, we make it easy.
Blessings and welcome back to Bring It to the Table, Real Talk with Angela C. Harden. I'm here with my guests, Mr. and Mrs. Outlaw. I want to thank you for being my guest today. Our heart and prayers are with you all. We're going to be discussing we've been talking about gun violence, and many people have been affected. And we know just recently, this year, you guys were affected in a devastating way, and where your daughter was shot and killed by her husband back here in February
February.
of this year. And we know that, and her name was Jasna.
Yes.
Jasna, and you all called her Jazz.
Jazz.
I knew Jazz. I've met her
Yes.
before, been in her presence, her
Yes.
children present. I know you all very well.
Yes.
And again, I thank you so much for agreeing to come and just bring some awareness and talk about, who was Jazz?
Yes.
What type of person was she? What type of teenager was she? What type of mother was she?
Yes.
She was a very fun and loving person, and I'm sure you all miss her so much.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
But gun violence we've been talking about gun violence, and a lot of people don't understand when you're affected personally from
Yes.
gun violence, how that affects our entire family.
That's true.
I want to talk about, and I know this is going to be kind of tough, even for me. I know you're Jazz's parents, but I just knew her from seeing her at church, just being around her, and she was a fun person.
Mm-hmm.
She really was. Real beautiful young lady, beautiful.
Love this man.
Hmm. Now, she was married to Richard Timmons.
Yes.
How long they had been married?
Since 2008. They were married in 2008.
Okay.
Almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 10 years. Now, in those 10 years, because he ended up shooting and killing her. So in those 10 years, it has been reported that
Yes.
that they had some issues, that there was some domestic violence in their relationship. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Well, I can remember when she first told me about him. It was one Sunday afternoon after church. We were cooking dinner, and her friend, they were there. And I think she was cooking on that day also. And when she first began to tell me about him, and I was like, Jazz, I don't think it's, just a good idea for you to talk with him, because she began to go into the details about what his father did. And then she began to tell me some type of weird ways of things he would be saying. And
Now, this
so
was before she married
that
him.
was before she married him.
So tell us a little bit about his dad, the history there.
Well, his dad pretty much murdered his wife and 2 children, and all because he was angry and controlling. So pretty
And they
much.
call him the axe murder,
Yes.
because he actually murdered them with an axe.
Yes, and the 13-year-old he stabbed to death. So I guess the 13-year-old
Which was his child.
Yes, he was married to the mother. That's true. And so with that being said, Richard, we would call him Richie. He would bring that up all the time. Even our daughter's first son, she named him after one of his brothers that was murdered, Aaron. So, and because that is what he wanted. But he was, everything she did, she couldn't please him. She couldn't satisfy him, because he wanted full control of just her whole life.
Did you all see that before
Yes.
they got married?
Yes.
So it was evident.
It was evidence. It was there.
It was there, because once they were dating, she found it out. They had some problems, and they broke up, and I was happy about that. And she said she would never go back to him. And then I think it was like a couple of years later, right at 2 years, next thing you know, we didn't know that they were dating. We didn't know. And
So she kept it a secret.
She kept it
didn't.
secret, yeah. After the fact.
And sometimes that happens when a young lady are being abused. Sometimes they be abused in silence.
Yes.
They don't talk about it.
Yes, because we didn't know they were back together. By the time we realized they were together, they had gotten married.
Wow, so they got married without your knowledge?
Without us knowing. We didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, because back to the issue when he first threatened her, that was, they weren't married, they were dating. I think I forget where he was stationed at. He was
in the military.
He was in the Army.
Yes.
So he was in the military?
Yes, he was in the military.
That's when he had threatened.
No.
Yes, I was just reading here where in 2008,
yes,
she called. Well, he texted her.
Yes.
He texted her. Can I read what he texted her?
Right. Sure.
Actually, the records show at least 5 calls to 911 in the last 10 years.
Yes.
And all of these was domestic altercations between Jazz and Richard Timmons. In one of the calls to the sheriff's office in 2008, then Jasna told deputies that Timmons texted her, "I'm on my way. Enough with the bull. I got something for you. Get ready, since you ain't afraid to die." Now that was in 2008. 10 years later, 10 days before he would make good on that. 10 years. The sheriff department knew this. She tried to get help.
Yes.
I want us to talk about, and you being her parent, I'm a parent. I just cannot even imagine knowing that my daughter is married to someone who threatens her. And actually, this was before they got married, correct? Then they married.
Yes.
And in the 10 years, calling out for help, calling 911, asking for help, going to, at one point, to safe homes, correct?
Twice.
Wow. And, saying, listen, I'm in danger. My children are in danger.
Yes.
What can you say to that? How, I know maybe you felt hopeless, or you felt like you couldn't help, or talk about what are some of the things that you all tried to do.
Well, we did talk with her. I talked with her personally a lot of times when he wasn't there, woman to woman, just telling her these are things, the things that he's doing, they're just unacceptable. You don't have to live like this. Love don't hurt. And love don't cause you, to have to fight for your life to survive, to be with him. And the whole 10 years, it was a fight. Every other year, there was something major going on in the relationship, even while she was pregnant with his children. She was still running for her life, but somehow she will always go back. Theobald always took her back.
So she would leave. She would literally leave.
Yes.
And then go back.
Yes. She would leave for maybe 2 days, and I don't know what he would be testing her or saying to her to get her to come back. But there was this fear there that will always cause her to go back, because she wouldn't stay gone maybe more than 2 or 3 days, and she would go back. Even when she was in safe home, he was still saying, I want to see my children. If I don't see my children, then this is going to happen to you.
So he was threatening her. So he was able to get to her although they were in safe homes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. We're going to take a break. Yeah. Let's bring it to the table, Real Talk with Angela C. Harden. We'll be right back.
You found your dream home. Now it's time to close. That's when you call Frails & Wilson. I'm Randy Frail. We have over 18 years of experience in real estate transactions. You do have a choice. Choose Frails & Wilson. We're in your neighborhood. We're here to help.
Blessings. I'm here with Rosalind at Roz Gifts and Flowers. And Roz, I want to ask you, what is it that make your events stand out and pop?
Well, I'm different and unique, and I was blessed with my hands by God. And also, we're willing here at Roz Gifts and Flowers to work with any client with any budget.
Why don't you give them a call today?
You've been in a terrible accident. You spent weeks in the hospital. The insurance company's offering you barely covers your medical bills. I'm Edwin Wilson with Frails & Wilson. We cut through the personal injury red tape to get you the recovery you deserve. Tough problems need tough lawyers.
Blessings. Welcome back to Bring It to the Table, Real Talk. When we left for the break, we were talking about Jazz, and one of the things that had happened, I was reading that she had just filed for a divorce.
Yes.
And that was just before, that was in February,
Yes.
I believe, the same month that he killed her.
Yes.
Now, I was reading that she was fearful of him, and that she believed that he was on the verge of having another episode because he had some mental
Yes.
instabilities. And she believed that it would get worse with the divorce.
Yes.
So she cried out for help. Take us back to that point. How did she seek help? And let's talk about his mental state.
Okay. Well, the week before that happened, before he took her life, he took the children. He took the children for about a week or 6 days, and she had to call the police and got the police involved. So that is how she got the children back. You know, she didn't know where they were. She didn't hear from him, so she had to get the police involved. So, you know, he will always talk about his mental state only when he did things really bad. Then he would bring that up. He would talk about that.
Right. And probably over, I guess it was a little over a year ago, I had possession of his gun. Maybe it was alone in that. I had possession of his gun because he was dealing with the VA. And his psychiatrist called me and said that, you know, Richie was threatening to kill himself, to harm himself, and asked me if I would. He trusted me with his guns, would I get them? I said, sure, I will. So I went and I got all his weapons.
And these guns was legally purchased?
As my now they were legally purchased, yes. And I think it was 3 of them, 2 rifles and a handgun. I forget to make it 9mm, but I don't know what model it was or who it was made by. But
so you got a person with mental problems, with children, with a wife, with those type weapons in the home, legally purchased? I don't understand that.
I don't either.
Go ahead.
And I had those weapons in my possession, and I kept them probably for about, 7 months? And he wanted them back. I said, well, Richard, you know what we talked about. We talked about I can't give them back to you until your psychiatrist get with me. And at the same time, that was the process where the psychiatrist moved, they got another one. So I just kept calling the VA until I got who I need to talk to. And he wasn't supposed to get the weapons, and I didn't give them to him. And then at the point where this guy, another guy, this had a third physician, and I couldn't get anybody on this one, but finally someone called me, and I said, is it all right for me? Because Richie called me, he wants to sell the weapons. That's what I'm going to make sure that he sells them to the person he sent them. I'm going to stand there. So I talked with Richie. We met, the guy met him, and I talked to the guy, and it was a Caucasian fellow. He's from South Carolina. And so once I felt comfortable this was going to be the sale, I stayed there until the transaction was made. And, you know, and I was proudful about that, and I was glad they were gone. That was a 9mm and a handgun.
But he had more.
But still,
he had more.
What could keep him from getting another one, which he did. He got another one. At what point, I don't know.
What is it you want to say in closing? We'll start with you, Mom. Anything that you want to share, feel free to do that.
Yes. I would like to say to anybody, you know, female, whether it's male or female, that is going through any domestic violence, or, you know, their mate, their husband, wife has mental illness, say something. Do something about it. You know, if we don't do anything, talk about it, discuss it, or bring it up to let someone know, then they can never get help. And the same thing that happened to us can happen to them. So now we have 4 children without a mother or a father.
Somewhere along the line, the system failed.
Yes.
Do you feel like you all could have done anything to make a difference?
You rest on those things. You think about, man, maybe I should have did this, maybe I should have that. But then God knows all things. But I just want to tell the young ladies out there, when you're in a relationship, and if this young man,
look in that camera right there.
This young man is yelling at you, he push you and say, I'm sorry, he's going to do it again, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And then he's going to try and isolate you from your family.
That's what he did.
He isolates you from your family. The kids, they're going to be silent. So don't take them through the emotional roller coaster, and that I can only assume, and I know that my grandkids lived a fearful life. My daughter lived a fearful life. And she loved her kids and her husband to death. Don't let that be you.
Again, thank you so very much for being here with us.
You so much.
We love you, and we're going to continue to pray for you. May God bless you.
Yes.
And I just want to encourage you. You did what you could do. You did what you could do.
Yes.
Like you said, she loved him so much.
Yes.
She loved him unto death. But you did what you were supposed to do.
Thank you.
So don't be condemned.
Yes, ma'am.
Amen. God bless you. We'll be right back.
We buy houses cash. Facing foreclosure. Behind on payments. unwanted inheritance, problem tenants, divorce, house need repair? Together, we can find a solution. Call today 706-250-0874 or www.webuyhouseseverywhere.cash. Again, 706-250-0874 or www.webuyhouseseverywhere.cash.
Blessings, and we're now to the closing of another Bring It to the Table Real Talk as we discuss gun violence. What an awesome and heartbreaking and sensitive interview that we just had. Panel, what's your thoughts?
Well, that was a heart-wrenching story of horrific sadness and a proof that our system failed the family.
I like what the family said in the end about the need for the stepping in, stepping up. Don't suffer in silence. It might lead to your death. You know, just be proactive instead of reactive.
I was so moved because of the family, that husband and wife, that mom and dad did what they did. It brought reality to a real situation, and I just want everybody that heard that to understand it's real.
Yes.
It's real.
And you might be out there wondering, well, what do we do? Where do we start? We start with our officials who make the laws. We got to get involved, you guys. One solution petitions the law to be changed and to intervene before someone are physically hurt. Don't wait until somebody get killed to move. How many more victims are enough? One more victim is too many.
Too many.
Get involved. Get involved. We pray for the Outlaw family and for those that's watching, that's maybe you're going through. We're praying for you. There is help for you. Listed on the screen will be some resources and some solutions of some organizations that will assist you in whatever you're going through. And as we close today, I just want to speak a blessing on you. Thank you guys for joining us. I want you to receive this blessing. It goes like this. May the Lord bless thee and keep thee. May the Lord make his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. May the Lord lift up a countenance unto thee and give you peace. Jehovah Shalom, peace. God bless you. And guess what? We love you. Shalom.
Shalom.
The problem is just bring it to the table. Come on. Why don't you just bring it to the table? Why don't you just bring it? Bring it to the table. With Angela C. Harden. So whatever the problem is, just bring it to the table. It's real talk.